Ladies and gentlemen, it is a truth universally acknowledged that in this world, there will always be those who seek to disturb your peace, challenge your resolve, and distract you from your true path. But let me tell you something that many will not have the courage to say. You let them bother you. Yes, you, the power to rise above the noise, to remain undeterred by the opinions and actions of others, lies entirely within your hands. You see, success is not merely a matter of talent or opportunity. It is the result of a controlled mind and a heart steadfast in purpose. You allow others to steal your peace. You are surrendering your most valuable asset, your focus. And let me be clear, my friends, success is built on focus. When you allow external forces to govern your emotions, you relinquish control over your future. But here's the good news. Just as you allow them to bother you, you can choose not to. You have the power to remain centered, to let the trivialities of the world roll off your back, and to direct your energy to what truly matters, your growth, your goals, your dreams. Let us explore how to take back control and unlock the greatest version of ourselves. You control how much others affect you. It's an empowering truth, one that can change the entire trajectory of your life if you truly understand and apply. We often forget this simple fact, allowing external forces, whether they be people, situations, or even the environment around us, to dictate our mood, our behavior, and our actions. But let me tell you this. You are not a puppet to the whims of the world. Every day you face challenges and encounters with others, some positive, others negative. How you respond to these influences is entirely within your power. You don't have to let someone's words, actions, or even the pressures of daily life pull you off course. The way you allow others to affect you is a choice, and with that choice comes the power to direct your life towards success or to allow distractions to prevent it. Think about a time when someone said something hurtful or discouraging to you. How did you react? Did their words linger in your mind, shaping the rest of your day? Did it derail your focus and drain your energy? If so, you may have unknowingly handed over control of your emotions to that individual. And in doing so, you allowed them to alter your sense of self-worth, your confidence, and your focus on what really matters. But what if that instead of reacting impulsively, you could pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and choose not to be affected by what they said? What if you could recognize that their words are a reflection of their own mindset, not a truth about who you are? The moment you realize that others' opinions and actions are outside of your control, you begin to reclaim your own power. You can choose to let it go, to not internalize their negativity, and to keep your energy focused on your purpose. One of the greatest lessons you can learn is that other people's actions or opinions are only as powerful as you allow them to be. If you let them bother you, it's because you're giving them permission to. You're choosing to invest emotional energy into something that doesn't serve your greater good. But when you recognize that you have the power to detach yourself from external influences, you regain control. It's not about ignoring the feelings you might have in response to someone else's actions. It's about not allowing those feelings to dictate how you move forward. Think about it. How much of your time and energy do you spend reacting to things you cannot change? How many opportunities have you missed because you let someone else's words or actions dominate your mental space? The truth is that when you focus on things you can't control, like other people's behavior, you're robbing yourself of the power you have to acquire. And that power is within you, waiting to be harnessed. In every interaction, you have the ability to choose your response. You can choose to be angry, frustrated, or hurt by someone else's behavior, or you can choose to remain calm, centered, and focused on important to you. The person who insults you or tries to bring you down does not have to define your emotional state unless you let them. They do not hold the keys to your happiness or success. Only you do. Now, this doesn't mean you should become indifferent to the feelings or actions of others. It doesn't mean you should become cold or unkind. On the contrary, it means that you should be aware of how you allow others to influence you and make conscious choices about how much power you're willing to give them. You can still be empathetic, caring, and compassionate while maintaining the strength to remain unaffected by negativity. When you learn to protect your emotional space and refuse to be swayed by external circumstances, you create a foundation for your success. You are no longer at the mercy of other people's moods, judgments, or expectations. You are free to pursue your own goals, free to stay true to your values, and free to remain focused on what truly matters to you. That's the beauty of understanding that you control how much others affect you. It frees you to be the best version of yourself, unencumbered by the distractions and limitations others may try to impose upon you. In this world, there will always be people who try to bring you down, who seek to undermine your confidence or challenge your dreams. But remember, you don't have to let them. Their words, their actions, their negativity, they are simply reflections of their own mindset and struggles. You don't have to accept them as your own. You are the one who gets to decide how much weight you give to their opinions and how much of your energy you invest in their actions. The more you embrace this truth that you control how much others affect you, the more powerful and free you become. You become the master of your emotional responses, no longer at the mercy of the opinions of others. And when you gain that mastery, you unlock your full potential. You become unstoppable. Let your goals, not distractions, define your path. This is a truth that many people overlook in the hustle and bustle of daily life. In a world filled with noise, opinions, and constant distractions, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. Yet, the most successful individuals throughout history didn't let the external world define their direction. They knew that success comes not from responding to every distraction, but from staying relentlessly focused on the objectives that were most important to them. How many times have you found yourself caught up in a conversation, an event, or a situation that, in hindsight, was nothing more than a distraction from your true purpose? It could be something as simple as social media pulling your attention away from work, or a negative comment from someone derailing your mindset. These distractions, though seemingly small, accumulate over time and can lead you far off course. The problem is that we tend to react to them without thinking, as if they have more power over us than they actually do. If you want to achieve something meaningful, if you want to live a life that is driven by purpose and fulfillment, you must commit to the idea that your goals are more important than the distractions that will inevitably arise. Distractions are everywhere. They come in many forms: people, messages, events, and even your own inner thoughts that pull you away from what you're trying to achieve. These distractions may seem harmless at first, but over time, they can chip away at your focus, erode your productivity, and leave you feeling as though you've made little progress. However, when you allow your goals to define your path, you begin to prioritize what truly matters. You create a mental filter that helps you recognize what is worth your time and energy. Every decision you make, every action you take is measured against the yardstick of your goals. Will this action bring you closer to your dream, or is it just another distraction? It's in this constant evaluation that you sharpen your focus and align your actions with your desired outcome. Take a moment to think about your long-term goals. What are they clear in your mind? Do you have a specific vision of where you want to be in the next few years? And are you taking deliberate steps toward that vision? The clarity of your goals is a key factor in whether or not distractions will pull you off course. When your goals are vague or undefined, it becomes far easier to be swayed by outside forces. But when you have a clear vision of what you want, distractions lose their power to sidetrack you. You recognize them for what they are: temporary, fleeting, and ultimately unimportant compared to the grand vision you are working toward. For staying focused on your goals is the ability to say no to the things that do not align with your purpose. This is often one of the hardest skills to master because there will always be something vying for your attention, whether it's a phone call, a social gathering, or a last minute request from someone else. But if these distractions are not aligned with your goals, they are just that, distractions. Learning to say no is not an act of rejection, but an act of prioritization. You are choosing your future over the temporary, often insignificant demands of the present. You also need to cultivate the discipline to ignore the noise. People may doubt your dreams, or they may tell you that you're wasting your time. External circumstances may present obstacles that seem insurmountable. But none of these things should cause you to lose sight of your goals. The world is full of noise, opinions, distractions, and uncertainties, but your goals are your anchor. They remind you of what you're working toward, and they give you the strength to keep moving forward when everything around you feels uncertain or chaotic. Moreover, the practice of staying focused on your goals doesn't mean that you'll be free from challenges or setbacks. In fact, it often means the opposite. The path toward your goals will be filled with obstacles, and you will encounter moments when distractions seem overwhelming. The key to overcoming these challenges is persistence. When you remain steadfast in your commitment to your goals, you develop the resilience to keep going, no matter what comes your way. Every distraction you overcome, every time you choose to stay focused instead of being sidetracked, strengthens your character and brings you closer to your desired destination. The true power of this approach lies in its simplicity. When you let your goals define your path, you eliminate the constant second guessing and indecision that comes from trying to respond to every distraction. You stop letting external circumstances control your actions, and instead, you become the master of your own focus. You become proactive rather than reactive. You act with intention, not impulse, and with that level of intentionality, you move closer every day to the life you've envisioned for yourself. It's important to remember that distractions are not inherently bad. They are simply part of the human experience. The real question is not whether distractions will appear, but how you will respond to them. Will you let them derail your progress, or will you use your goals as a compass to guide you back on course? When your goals are clear and when they are firmly planted in your mind, distractions will no longer have the power to define your path. Instead, you will walk with purpose, directed by the vision you have set for yourself. Regain control over your reactions. This is one of the most important aspects of personal growth, yet it's often overlooked in the chaos of everyday life. Every single day, we encounter situations and people that push our emotional buttons, and our natural tendency is to react impulsively. Whether it's a rude comment, an unfair situation, or an unexpected challenge, our immediate response is often emotional. And in many cases, that reaction only makes the situation worse. But what if you could regain control over your reactions? What if you could choose how you respond instead of simply reacting to the external world? The power to control your reactions is the power to control your life. You are not your emotions. This is something that many people fail to realize. We tend to think that if we feel something, it must be true. That if we are angry, sad, or frustrated, those emotions are a direct reflection of the situation. But the reality is much different. Emotions are fleeting. They come and go. They are like clouds in the sky. Temporary, never changing. The key to emotional mastery lies in recognizing that you are not your emotions and that you do not have to be controlled by them. Emotions are signals, not commands. They tell you how you feel in a given moment, but they do not dictate your actions unless you allow them. When you regain control over your reactions, you give yourself the ability to step back and choose a more measured response. This requires awareness. The first step to controlling your reactions is to recognize when you are being triggered. Whether it's a negative thought, a difficult person, or a stressful situation, your emotional state is often a signal that you are being pulled out of alignment with your values and goals. When you feel yourself becoming frustrated, angry, or upset, it's a sign that something is happening within you. Instead of reacting immediately, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Observe what you are feeling and ask yourself, "Oh, why am I feeling this way? Is this reaction serving me?" By taking a moment to pause, you create space between the stimulus, the thing that triggered you, and your response. This pause allows you to gain perspective. It allows you to evaluate the situation more objectively without being clouded by intense emotions. And this is where the real power lies, in the ability to choose how to respond. In any given situation, you can decide whether to frustration or hurt, or whether to respond with calm, grace, and thoughtfulness. It's entirely in your hands. Regaining control over your reactions also means taking responsibility for your emotions. It's easy to blame others for making us feel a certain way. They made me angry, we say. You upset me. But this way of thinking disempowers us. It suggests that other people have control over our emotions and that we are at the mercy of their actions. The truth is, no one can make you feel anything without your consent. You are the one who allows someone else's words or behavior to affect you. You are the one who gives away your emotional power when you react impulsively to something that disturbs you. By taking responsibility for your emotions, you regain control. Instead of blaming others or external circumstances, you empower yourself to respond in a way that is aligned with your values and goals. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending that everything is okay when it's not. It means acknowledging your feelings and then choosing to respond in a way that supports your well being and your long term success. When you make this a habit, you develop emotional resilience. You become less affected by the ups and downs of daily life because you know that your emotional state is yours to control. Another important aspect of regaining control over your reactions is developing the skill of emotional detachment. Blur disconnected from others. Anytime you've got to separate yourself from the emotional turmoil that others may create. Emotional detachment allows you to protect your peace and maintain clarity in the face of chaos. It allows you to observe without absorbing. This is especially important in today's world, where negative energy is everywhere. The news, social media, and even the people around us can often be sources of stress and negativity. But when you develop emotional detachment, you can navigate these external pressures without allowing them to disturb your inner calm. Emotional mastery also requires consistent practice. It's not something that happens overnight. Just like building physical muscle, you must work on it daily. When you encounter situations that test your emotional control, use those moments as opportunities to strengthen your ability to remain confident. Over time, you'll find that you are less reactive and more proactive in your responses. You'll stop being controlled by your emotions and you'll begin to control your emotions, which in turn gives you the power to control your actions and outcomes. Finally, regaining control over your reactions is key to unlocking your potential. When you are no longer at the mercy of your emotions, you are free to focus on what truly matters: your goals, your values, and your personal growth. You are no longer distracted by petty annoyances or the opinions of others. You can move through life with a sense of purpose, knowing that you are in control of your responses. This is the kind of power that leads to success, fulfillment, and peace of mind. Protect your peace by limiting external influences. In the fast paced world we live in, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the constant flow of information, demands, and opinions that bombard us from all directions. People, circumstances, and even our own inner thoughts often try to impose their will on us, pulling us in different directions and distracting us from what truly matters. However, in order to maintain a sense of peace, stability, and focus, it is essential to set boundaries and limit the external influences that can disrupt your mental and emotional well being. This is not a passive act. It is a deliberate and empowering choice that allows you to regain control of your life and protect your peace. One of the first steps in protecting your peace is recognizing the power that external influences have over you. Every day you are exposed to countless sources of noise, whether it's the opinions of others, the expectations placed upon you, or the constant distractions of modern technology. These influences can often feel like they're outside of your control, as if the world is demanding your attention and energy at every turn. Social media pulls you in with constant updates, messages, and notifications. Conversations with others can shift your focus or make you question your path. Negative news cycles create a sense of urgency and fear that distracts you from your goals. Without conscious effort, these external forces can begin to take over your mental space, leaving you feeling drained, overwhelmed, and disconnected from your true purpose. But here's the key: you have the power to limit these influences. By consciously choosing what you allow into your life and how you respond to it, you can protect your peace. One of the most powerful ways to do this is by setting clear boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are protective lines that you draw to preserve your energy, your time, and your mental clarity. When you set boundaries with others, whether it's a colleague, a friend, or even family members, you are communicating that you value yourself and your peace enough to protect it. You are showing that you will not allow external demands to control your emotional state or pull you away from your goals. In the same way, boundaries with technology are essential. With the constant streams of notifications, emails, social media updates, it can feel impossible to escape the noise of the digital world. However, you have the ability to control how much time and attention you give to these distractions. You can choose to limit your social media consumption, create designated times for checking emails, and establish tech-free zones or moments in your day. Space for yourself, where you can reconnect with your inner peace and focus on what matters most. It's in these quiet, focused moments that you can think clearly, set intentions, and align your actions with your true purpose. Another critical aspect of protecting your peace is learning to say no. Saying no is an act of rejection. It's an act of prioritization. You cannot be everything to everyone, and trying to do so will only drain your energy and leave you. These people can be draining, and if you're not careful, they can rob you of your peace. While you cannot control the behavior of others, you can control how much access you give them to your emotional and mental space. Setting boundaries with negative people doesn't mean cutting them out of your life entirely, unless that's necessary for your well-being. But it does mean limiting your exposure to their negativity. You can choose to engage with them on your terms, not allowing their opinions or attitudes to dictate how you feel. Your peace is precious, and it is up to you to guard it. But protecting your peace isn't just about setting boundaries with others. It's also about managing your inner world. Your thoughts, your self-talk, and your emotions all play a role in shaping your peace of mind. It's easy to become consumed by worry, fear, or self-doubt, but you have the power to shift your focus. When negative or distracting thoughts arise, you can choose not to engage with them. You can consciously redirect your attention to things that uplift and inspire you. Practicing mindfulness, meditation, taking time each day to breathe deeply and center yourself are all powerful ways to maintain inner peace amidst external chaos. The more you practice protecting your peace, the easier it becomes to navigate the challenges of life without being thrown off course. When you set boundaries, limit distractions, and protect your energy, you become more resilient in the face of adversity. You no longer react impulsively to every demand or stressor. Instead, you respond with clarity, calmness, and purpose. And this is where true power lies, in your ability to remain centered and focused regardless of the rise above negativity and choose calm. Negativity is an unavoidable part of life. Whether it's the critical remarks of others, the negative thoughts that arise in your own mind, or the challenging circumstances that seem to come out of nowhere, negativity will always try to find a way into your life. But the key to navigating life successfully and peacefully is not in avoiding negativity entirely, it's in choosing how to respond to it. You have the power to rise above negativity, to transform it, and to choose calm in the face of chaos. One of the first things to recognize is that negativity, whether it comes from external sources or within yourself, is not a reflection of who you are. It is simply a natural human response to fear, uncertainty, or frustration. People who lash out with criticism or anger are often projecting their own fears and insecurities. Similarly, when negative thoughts arise in your own mind, they are often the result of doubt, past experiences, or conditioned beliefs. These negative energies are not an inherent part of you. They are simply passing thoughts and emotions that you can choose not to identify with. Rising above negativity begins with acknowledging that you have the power to decide how you will engage with it. The first step in this process is developing awareness. When negativity enters your life, whether it's in the form of someone else's harsh words, a difficult situation, or your own inner doubts, it's essential to notice it without judgment. The moment you recognize negativity for what it is, you take away its power to control you. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can pause and create space between the negative influence and your response. This moment of pause is crucial. It is the opportunity to choose a different path, to rise above the negativity instead of being dragged down by it. Choosing calm over negativity is an act of self-mastery. It requires discipline and emotional intelligence. When negativity enters your life, it's easy to feel justified in responding with anger, frustration, or defensiveness. You might feel as though it's only natural to retaliate. to fight back, or to match the energy of the negativity you are facing. But this is where the true power lies, in choosing not to engage. When you choose calm, you are not suppressing your feelings or pretending that everything is fine. You are simply choosing a response that serves you, your peace, and your long term goals. You are choosing not to allow external circumstances or negative energy to disrupt your inner state. One of the most effective ways to rise above negativity is by shifting your focus. Negative situations often pull your attention away from what truly matters, clouding your judgment and causing you to become overwhelmed by emotions. But you have the ability to redirect your attention to something more constructive. Instead of focusing on the negativity itself, focus on your response, on the lessons that can be learned, or on the opportunity for growth. You can also shift your attention to your goals, to the things that bring you joy, or to the people and experiences that inspire and uplift you. When you consciously choose where to focus your energy, you reclaim your power and regain control of your emotional state. Another critical aspect of rising above negativity is learning how to detach emotionally from the things that try to bring you down. Emotional detachment doesn't mean becoming indifferent or cold. It means learning to observe negative situations without letting them affect your emotional equilibrium. It's the ability to see negativity as something external to you, something that does not need to penetrate your inner world. This level of detachment allows you to engage with negativity objectively without becoming entangled in it. You can still address the issue at hand, but you do so from a place of calm and clarity rather than from a place of reactive emotion. It's also important to remember that negativity often comes in cycles. There will be times when negativity seems to surround you on all sides. You may feel as though you are trapped in a constant battle, unable to escape the critical voices or the challenges that life keeps throwing your way. But in these moments, it's crucial to remember that negativity is temporary. Like the weather, it will pass. When you are able to rise above negativity and choose calm, you allow yourself the mental space to see beyond the current storm. You understand that this moment of negativity is not the end of the story, it's just a passing phase. Rising above negativity is also a process of self care. Protecting your peace and choosing calm means taking steps to create an environment that supports your mental and emotional well being. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, with thoughts that inspire you, and with activities that nourish your soul. Practice mindfulness and meditation to strengthen your ability to stay centered and calm, even when negativity arises. By consistently choosing calm, you build resilience. By consistently choosing calm, you become stronger, more focused, and better equipped to handle whatever challenges come your way. Choosing calm also involves letting go of the need to control everything around you. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how much we try to plan or control, things will always be outside of our immediate control. However, you can control how you respond to the events of your life. When you let go of the need to control every situation and instead focus on your internal state, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and frustration. You stop fighting against the things that you cannot change, and instead, you choose to focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. When you make the conscious choice to rise above negativity and choose calm, you create a powerful shift in your life. You begin to experience more peace, more clarity, and a greater sense of purpose. You stop allowing external circumstances or negative people to dictate your emotional state, and instead you become the master of your own responses. This inner calm becomes the foundation for your success and well being, allowing you to navigate life with grace, focus, and resilience. Embrace your power to let go. Holding on to past hurts, mistakes, or regrets can weigh heavily on your heart and mind. It creates a barrier between you and the life you are meant to live. When you cling to the past, you carry emotional baggage that clouds your ability to fully experience the present moment. You become anchored in what has already happened instead of stepping into the future with the freedom and clarity needed to move forward. Needed to move. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It's an act of strength, self-respect, and personal growth. It is a conscious choice to release what no longer serves you, to make room for new opportunities, and to free yourself from the emotional weight that holds you back. The first step in letting go is recognizing what you are holding on to. Sometimes we carry emotional baggage without even realizing it. It could be past relationships that ended badly, painful experiences that left scars, or unmet expectations that caused disappointment. These unresolved emotions can keep you stuck in a cycle of pain and regret. They influence the way you perceive yourself and the world around you, shaping your thoughts, behaviors, and decisions in ways that limit your potential. In order to let go, you must first confront these emotions, accept them, and acknowledge their impact on your life. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting about the past or denying the pain you've experienced. It doesn't mean pretending that the hurt doesn't exist. Rather, it means choosing not to let the past control your present or future. It's about accepting that you cannot change what has already occurred, and that holding on to the past only prolongs your suffering. By holding on to old wounds, you prevent yourself from healing and moving forward. Letting go is about making peace with the past so that you can create a more empowered future. One of the biggest obstacles to letting go is the fear of what might happen if you do. We often cling to past experiences or people out of fear of the unknown. We're afraid of what life might look like without the familiar, even if it's painful. The fear of change can keep us in situations that no longer serve us, whether it's a toxic relationship, a dead end job, or an unfulfilling lifestyle. But the truth is, fear only keeps you trapped. When you choose to let go, you create space for new possibilities for growth and for a future that is not limited by your past. The fear of letting go is often worse than the actual act itself. When you allow yourself to release what is no longer serving you, you open yourself to new opportunities, relationships, and experiences that are aligned with your true purpose. Another reason we struggle with letting go is the attachment we develop to certain things, people, or ideas. We become attached to our identity, our image, and our comfort zone. Letting go often means stepping into the unknown, which can feel uncomfortable and intimidating. But it's important to remember that growth happens outside of your comfort zone. When you hold on to something because it's familiar, even if it's causing you pain or keeping you stuck, you prevent yourself from stepping into the life you are meant to live. Letting go is a form of self liberation. It is your declaration that you are no longer bound by the past or by limiting beliefs. It is your affirmation that you are ready to embrace the unknown and trust that what lies ahead will be better than what you're leaving behind. The process of letting go also involves forgiveness, both of others and of yourself. Holding on to resentment, anger, or guilt only keeps you tethered to the past. When you forgive others, you release the grip they have on your emotion. You stop allowing their actions or words to control how you feel and react. Forgiveness is not about excusing the behavior or forgetting the hurt. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional burden that comes with holding on to negative feelings. Similarly, forgiving yourself is a crucial part of letting go. We often carry guilt and regret for things we did or didn't do in the past. But self forgiveness is necessary for healing. You are human, and you will make mistakes. Holding on to guilt only prevents you from learning and growing. When you forgive yourself, you release the past and give yourself permission to move forward with a clean slate. Letting go is also about trusting the process of life. It's about surrendering control and accepting that some things are simply beyond your ability to change. You cannot control the actions of others, the course of events, or the timing of things. But what you can control is your response. When you let go, you are trusting that the universe has a plan for you, even if you can't see it right now. You are trusting that the end of one chapter is just the beginning of another. Life has a way of guiding you to where you need to be, and sometimes letting go is the first step in aligning yourself with the right path. As you begin to let go, you will find that your mental and emotional clarity improve. You will feel lighter, more at ease, and more open to the possibilities that life has to offer. Letting go is not a one-time event. It's a continual process of releasing what no longer serves you. It's a daily practice of choosing peace over pain, growth over stagnation, and freedom over fear. The more you let go, the more you will feel empowered to live your life on your own terms, free from the constraints of the past. You will begin to realize that the only thing standing between you and the life you desire is your willingness to let go of what no longer serves you. In the end, letting go is an act of self-love. It is your commitment to yourself and to your future. It is your recognition that you deserve to live a life that is free from the weight of past hurts and mistakes. By embracing the power of letting go, You release the grip of the past and step into the life that awaits you. And in that freedom, you will discover the true power that lies within you. Aim.